Hi, I'm Dina, and my son Joseph was 24 years old when he died of an opiate overdose in May of 2014. He was the light of my life. He was full of personality. He did have a bit of an addictive quality to him. He had started smoking and gambling and drinking, but not to an extent that I was really worried. But looking back, I wish I would have addressed it more seriously. He developed sciatica, and we took him to numerous doctors to try to treat him, and he ended up going out with a girl that worked for the chiropractor's office where we took him, and he got hooked on opiates through her, I found out. Once he was hooked, it was like he changed into a different person. I was in such denial about it that when he was falling asleep, standing up, talking, when his behavior changed, it was crazy how I didn't even think it was drug related. I thought that something else was wrong with him. I don't really know why I was in denial. I look back on it now and I know that I was at the time. I'm not a stupid person, but his behavior was erratic, and it's just crazy how denial works. I guess I mentally couldn't handle it, so my mind just didn't let me even think that he was on drugs. I went to a family doctor of my own who knew my son, and as soon as I told her, she didn't even let me finish my sentence. She said, "Dina, your son's on drugs." And I was angry at her. I was like, "You haven't even seen him. It could be this, it could be that." And she said, "It's absolutely," and she knew. She just knew from all the telltale signs. So like I said, first sign of anything that your child is acting erratic or just unlike themselves, you just have to take them for help immediately, and that might keep you from being in denial like I was for a while. And when I finally found out it was drugs, I beat myself up about it. But I would tell any parent out there that at the first sign of any signs that your child is not right, try immediately to get them to a doctor and address it. The person has to want to be off drugs. Mothers in general beat themselves up and think there's, I have another child and I raised them both the same, and he's a straight arrow, and it's not parenting. It's just, it just depends on the child. And looking back, I wish that I had taught him to be more resilient. I thought I was doing a great job with him, but I think sometimes you have to be a little stronger, and mothers tend to feel guilt and overcompensate. And looking back to another mother, I would say, put the use tough love. I was a little bit of an enabler. Every time he got in trouble, I would bail him out. Looking back, I wish that I hadn't made it so easy for him to constantly just, get him out of trouble. To any kid out there, or anybody in general that's thinking of even taking a drug, I would say that not only will it destroy your life, it'll destroy everybody that loves you. And you can get help. There is help out there. You just have to really be ready. And one of the most important things that I learned was when he was coming out of a 3-month stint in jail, he was to go into a halfway house. They beg you to go home, that they have it under control, that they need to be home. No, they absolutely don't need to be home. Most parents are not equipped to deal with this. We're not drug counselors. They have to be held accountable for their time. They should be going to meetings. I highly recommend that to anyone who's dealing with someone on drugs, is to try to get them into a halfway house, especially if it's your child. I can only speak for mothers. I can't speak for fathers, of course. It's just as hard for them. It's hard for siblings. I speak to a lot of mothers that just beat themselves up and say, "I raised all my children the same. I don't know what I did wrong." And I would say, just let yourself be free of that pain and guilt, because it's just nothing. You could love your kid, and I was the mother that saw all the drug commercials to keep your kids off drugs, and I dialed the 800 numbers, and I would read it to them when they were in, grade school. you could do everything and it just sometimes doesn't make a difference. I wish I would have just been a little sterner. I wish I would have, like I said, taught him to be a little more resilient when he started smoking and drinking a little too much and gambling. I wish I would have maybe caught something sooner. Other than that, I just implore anybody that's watching this that knows somebody to just really try to get them help. And if you haven't done drugs and you're thinking about it, I beg you not to, because there's no happy endings. There's no reason to do it. It's just a temporary feeling that destroys your life and everybody that cares about you.